I heard,
Welcome to Saturday Afternoon Poetry, everyone. It's showtime for our first featured poet. And of course, afterwards, we might have a surprise second featured poet, followed by a wonderful reading from Watermelon Hues. Something I'm looking forward to, that's for sure. So we start off with that legendary half of the Bryce family, Charlie.
well, I want to thank you, Don, for this opportunity. It was really wonderful. Came out of the blue, and I'm very happy to be here with these other people, other poets. So I thought I'd start out with my new book. It's called Tragedy in the Arugula Isle, uh, and I have a couple copies left, but I can get more if anybody wants some. You can email me at charlie.bryce@gmail.com. So I thought I'd start out a little humorous with some humorous stuff and end with some humorous stuff and then put the misery in the middle. That's okay. So the first poem is called Toads in Bermuda. Only one cashier at the Giant Eagle today. I'm stuck in aisle 7 that begins with broth, stock, and soup and ends with canned vegetables. I stare at a can of Jolly Green giant green beans and wonder if, at 72, I'll live long enough to get to the beef broth, much less to Amber, the patient and weary checkout lady. Everyone fiddles with their phones. I pull mine out and say to the young people behind me that I'm calling my attorney because I want to make out my will. They egg me on with laughter. Let's gather kindling, I say, make a fire, roast s'mores, sing kumbaya, we're bonding, I say. And they laugh some more, laugh at the old coot in aisle 7 near the veggies. Earlier at the deli, a sign reads, everyone's having trouble getting workers. Be kind to the ones that showed up. A man behind the counter says, can I help you? Is that a Boston accent I hear? I ask. Actually, he says, I'm English, been in Pittsburgh for 40 years. I learned that if you're from England and live in Pittsburgh for 40 years, you sound like you're from Boston. Later, in the grossly understaffed post office, where Janelle, the sweetest and most patient person on the planet, is, as usual, the sole agent at the window, a man in line behind me asks where the express mail envelopes are. Is that an Australian accent I hear? I ask. No, he says, I'm from Bermuda. We used to vacation there when our son was little, I say. I tell him how Ari and I would go on toad hunts at night, how the toads, of which there were hundreds, would exude an hallucinogenic spray when you picked them up. Once, when my wife asked Ari how the toad hunt went, he said, that unconscionable toad peed on my daddy, which was pretty sophisticated for a 5-year-old. In the morning, we'd find hundreds of toads flattened by mopeds the locals drove. There are hardly any toads left, the man from Bermuda says. They're going extinct along with bees, bats, and frogs. We stand in silence for a few moments. Then he says, we used to have a joke about the toads. Tell me, I say, why does a toad in Bermuda cross the road? Why, I ask. To find his flatmate, he says. We laugh about that. Janelle laughs too. Thank you. All right. Well, toughen up, toughen up the mood a little bit, the mood. Years ago, Judy and I and Ariel, our son, took a wonderful vacation to Alaska. It was a great time. And this poem deals with that. Ice shelf. We were in Prince William Sound sailing in an ice field when our guide suggested we leave the safety of our sailboat and slip into sea kayaks. It was the first time I saw Ariel scared. Our young lion was 17, and while his boat splashed into the icy water, his face turned white as the glacier that towered over us. I, too, trembled with cold and fear, but found myself irresistibly drawn to the gelid water and the stark beauty that surrounded us. Judy eased herself into our two-seater and later confessed that she didn't want to live if Ari and I died. So she came along, even though we knew that, should we capsize, we'd have about a minute and a half before hypothermia slurped Alaska's version of a people popsicle. The glacier was calving. Every time a chunk fell off into the water, a thunderous roar cracked the silence, forced us to turn our kayaks into the waves and ride it out. Terrified and thrilled, we rounded a frozen bend. There, on an ice shelf, lounged a huge sea lion, must have weighed close to a ton. He seemed as curious about us as we were of him, though he was calmer. After we returned to the sailboat, I understood how kind our pinniped pal had been not to upend us when he dove beneath our kayak for his afternoon swim. Kindness floats in this desolate place of white and blue ice, a wildness that can be forgiving or not. But for us that day, it surfaced a scaffold built of dreams. Thanks. Well, my favorite season is winter, but the next one is autumn, and that's what this poem deals with. It's called "What Artist?" What artist is it who gives us the fall, whose brush is a brisk wind, whose canvas covers all that is built, barren and bountiful? Who is it that composes the crunch of leaves underfoot or the soundtrack of folios falling to ground? What chef combined leaf and loam in Gaia's gurgling cauldron to produce the aromas of autumn? Zephyr, Zeus, the old bearded man in the sky? Or our simple sweet orb that hangs in the ether, slowly spinning, still sustaining us, despite our efforts to despoil her? So years and years ago, thank you, everybody. Years and years ago, I had a poetry teacher. He was not a really good teacher, but he did say this one thing 55 years ago that stuck with me, which is that anything can become a poem. And so this poem kind of illustrates this. I got a paper cut and wrote a poem about it, but it has a lot of allusions to Hemingway, Flaubert, and Dostoevsky. So it's called Paper Cut. How did I get it? What page of my notebook was the culprit? Or was it the novel I read? Did Madame Bovary cause this cut while I was engrossed in her adulterous doings? Or was it Raskolnikov waiting for his landlady with an axe that got me to turn the page thoughtlessly? It wasn't Robert Jordan in repose on that pine needle floor. There was no page to turn. The needles were sharper than any paper edge. His trigger finger placed him on the cusp of forever and caused a caesura that no stitch could repair. That tiny slit winces at the vast array of pain life provides. A man's empty chest while reading his wife's love letters to another man. A woman's bewildered stare as the axe handle shreds bone. That oily taste when lips caress a gun barrel. The strident clang of those places where the bell tolls loudly for us all. Thank you. So this poem was just published in a wonderful online journal called the Opiate Magazine. I'd really recommend that journal to anybody who's writing and wants to try to get published. So it's called At This Age. At this age, pulling down the sheets can unfold an unbearable sadness. People you've known all your life give up on you suddenly, like an ice storm that cancels spring. You've read the sutras, studied the dogma, lit the incense, watched the smoke waft away to nowhere. You've known all along about impermanence, but living it is another matter. You witness your wife hobble through her days, each day a little less able, her best friend, a four-wheeled rolling walker. You wake up, roll over, wonder if your fingers can form a fist today, twist the top off the goddamn mayonnaise jar, grip a knife to cut into a potato, push the cap down to open a fucking pill bottle. At this age, you wonder, will you have a voice loud enough to rage against the dying of the light? Well, I don't want to end on a bummer. So I'll end on this. This is called St. Charles Borromeo. He's a real saint. He was my so-called patron saint. And I wrote it for a colleague and friend who's a poet, Mary Holden. The nuns told us to pray to our patron saints for special treatment. There they were, standing around in heaven, with little to do but check lists of the living who had their same first names and hope that one of them would ask for something, anything, to break the monotony. Only first names counted. There were no St. John's, St. Smiths, and certainly no St. Rubensteins. I pray to St. Charles Borromeo from time to time, having no idea who he was or what he stood for. His last name reminded me of borax, the powdered soap Ronald Reagan pitched on TV and that occupied most soap dispensers in the restroom of Cheyenne's many gas stations. Maybe he was the patron saint of slaughtered bacteria. Or perhaps he was a reformed womanizer, a Romeo who converted and became a dullard, hence boring Romeo Borromeo. Please, St. Charles, I prayed, stop my father from drinking, my mother from screaming, and help me lose weight. None of my prayers were answered. Recently, I Googled St. Charles and was dismayed to find that he viciously persecuted those who tried to reform his church. Even more disturbing was his portrait. He had to be the first to inspire the term, "you dick," when applied to an obnoxious or disgusting jerk. For St. Charles had a penis for a nose, not just any penis, but one afflicted with Peyronie's disease. Yes, he had Peyronie's disease of the proboscis, which made him the patron saint of both nasal sex and bathroom deodorizer. This rhino revelation, this hermeneutic of the Snazola, surpassed for me this discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls and turned me back into a believer, but not really. Thank you. Thank you, Don.
Wow, Charlie, fantastic. That was a very entertaining set. And to prove it, I ask everybody to feel free to tell them what you think.
Boy, there's a big echo here.
Yeah, who's echoing? Could it be me? I'll mute myself. It was Michelle. All right, so because she's on the phone, that's probably what happened. Anyway, like I said, unmute if you want to say some good words to Charlie. Go ahead. But you'll have to unmute to do so.
The one about I really identify with the one about aging.
Yeah, me too. Right back to area.
It's
Yeah,
Well,
thank you. I've gotten a lot of feedback on that poem on the site, on the website.
yeah, the
yes, I felt the winter chill coming my way. Oh. Uh, is your poetry available to be purchased, Charlie?
Oh yeah, yeah. If you want to inscribe copy, you can just contact me at Charlie CHARLIE dot Brice BRICE at gmail.com, and I'm selling them for $15 plus $4 shipping, so that'd be $19. Yeah, or you can get it from Amazon if you'd like. Or it's published by Arroyo Seco Press, which is out in California.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
very
no,
nice
well,
press. Yeah,
that was good to hear.
Arnie Thomas.
Speaking of good to hear, we made a deal at the beginning of this time together that if the other feature didn't show, we would give some time to your better half.
Wow. Hey, I'd like that.
Is Judy up for that?
You have to unmute, Judy. Judy, unmute, sweetie.
I'm game. I would love it.
All right, everybody. Judy Bryce.
Tell me when you want me to stop. I obviously didn't practice for this.
Okay.
So I'll read a funny poem first and move on to some other ones. How's that sound? If there's time. How much time do you want to give me?
We'll give you time enough.
Time and okay.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to like this poem, but people might not. So it's called First Grade. I never knew that teachers could be named after apples. But then again, I never knew that a teacher like Mrs. McIntosh could have boobs as big as cantaloupes. Boobs that she would show off each day under the see-through blouses she wore, those blouses with little knobs on them that made you want to pluck or pull and say, hey, why do you wear a blouse so thin, one of material the same thickness as threads, where you can see right through to those under things and almost feel the frills of your dainty pink bra, its lining of its exquisite satin lace. It is so delicate, so different from my mom's thick cotton one, just plain and stiff, boring white. There were a lot of things to learn that year besides the alphabet and spelling, including the long halls to the girls' room where the commodes usually overflowed because somebody, no one really knew who, had used too much toilet paper, and you always got your Mary Janes and toes all wet if you didn't look carefully before you entered. 2, there was the already munched chewing gum so carefully placed in a wad under those small little desks and stuck just so that if you raised your hand after you'd crossed your legs, raised it while you were trying to learn about something that Mrs. Apple called social studies, though it might as well have been named just plain boredom, you might end up with a hunk of gum on your skirt. And that glob, it just wouldn't come off in the wash when you got home, even after your mother scrubbed her hands raw, chafed them pink, red, bare. But then again, the memories that stuck the most, even with all that I learned about additions and subtractions, drawing my alphabet letters, even the special skills in reading and those boring social studies, the memories that stuck were my new friends, especially those friends I made in my forays away from home as I learned to walk back and forth to school. Stuart would usually come by my house, and then 2 blocks straight up Powell Street, we'd ring Jenny's door. With bouncing braids, she'd come running out, and then we were halfway there. I knew because my mother had measured the miles. From that point, we would watch the sidewalk, jump the cracks, couldn't afford to break our mother's backs. And of course, we had to avoid the lines. My mother's spine seemed okay, but then who would really know? She didn't ever wear see-through blouses. But one day we were told that Jenny wouldn't be able to join us. And the next days and the next, it was the same. Brain cancer were the words we heard, the words that stuck. We didn't see Jenny anymore that year, though every day without a word or whisper between our lips, we looked towards her house through the beech tree, massive, hefty, branches bulky, beside her home. Stuart and I stared hard, saw only darkened limbs, soundless, hanging heavy towards the ground. Thank you. Time for another? Okay. So I'll read a 1 second here. 1 second. Better pull something out. Driving me crazy. Okay. So this one is a forever poem. Forever because it took me forever to write it. And it's the most experimental of all my poems today. Autumn's vocabulary of light and shadow. Afternoon sun streams, blazes kaleidoscope bright, smooth gleams, fulgent, light scent, blinding shine, to beam telephone mile lines, catch noise of talkist nosy words, pit-patter clicks, tiny toes, squirrel feet. Bright dispersed, shafts of seconds to glow, jewel of light in tumble refracts, slow melts to fall on leaves, umber, auburn cerise. Then silver all, a blanket sepia spread, closes close over hosta, tawny nuthatch, capped black chickadee. Pittsburgh in autumn, day dazzle late, glisten sings, tingle scents, twinkling whiffs of wood crinkle leaves, undulant slivers tumble brown down up, then back around through maples sizzle red, sugar, even black. They drift past cocoa glaze oak, hover, float, catch breeze off wind to grab fast till her head upsets sail, near yet far beyond that sycamore tryst till, its creamy smooth barks between mocha soft drops, the fallen bare bark. Still dazzle, wind's amber sheen, tumble rolls off hickory and larch, twigs honey sweet, salt sprinkling gold onto shadow dim puff clouds, blaze indigo, drifting first straight, then in gray descent west and down, down towards winter's start. Yep, for another?
Hey, Judy,
Yes.
can I make a request? What about the abecedarian?
Yeah, that was in the beginning. Okay, here it is. Is there time for another one with my husband's request?
Yes.
Yes. Autumn in its abecedarian wonder. In case you didn't figure that other one was about autumn too, but it was a very experimental. This is less experimental. Autumn in its abecedarian wonder. An autumn leaf blew by the window to shine the shape of its bronze orange body and bright red hues upon my papers, even this poem as I write. It floated as if without concern. So nonchalant it was, and so unwary in its travels that it hardly hesitated, hardly demurred, neither to light or wind, nor even darkening shadow. Rather, with undulant edge, the floating leaf appeared almost evanescent, in such a hurry in its time, its space, to frequent other places, other homes, that it barely touched, barely grazed the window ledge before catching fast the hastening shift of air to hail the waft, its transient taxi, perhaps then to relax, take a breath, and ease itself into this fresh and gentle course, the calm, the comfort of this tranquil trip, its newest jaunt. The leaf then opened as if to spill its thoughts about its own true nature, its kind. Oh, there are so many more handsome and fetching ones to come, to love, each more exquisite in its colors, marigold, sienna, garnet, taupe, even mauve, cerise, blending to burnt cherry plum. It was as if just maybe it wished to say that not all leaves look alike. Essential wind to have patience, essential to breeze soft, to obviate the forcefulness of your waft and wave. No, even a forgetful draught mustn't puff strong upon a leaf's filigree of veins, so close it is to being done in its quest of bringing fluids and food to apex, venules, all the blade, mustn't gale against the rest of all the fast demising leaves, their many partners searching peace. A puff needs to settle, nuzzle a tree, amidst a leaf's intricate and fragile kind, must whisper so thin that colors both bright and dim can shine, even in the graying mist, even under cold pelt of hail or frigid rain, those flakes of transient snow. No, not now of valor to hasten the season, or batter these trees so bare that a single marcescent leaf will hang and curl, droop low to catch the frost, and in cold and alone depend on xylem to sustain itself before the gelid chill of winter's edge. In truth, fall wind should never yerk the trees, nor blow too rough upon our brief festoon of autumn dazzle, for a zephyr, despite its zeal, need never gust hard, nor rush to corral a storm. That was a lot of fun to write, and it was from a prompt in a workshop that Charlie and I were in.
I don't know if everybody realizes that that was an abecedarian, that each line began with a consecutive letter. The first word of each line began with a consecutive letter of the alphabet.
That was great. It was tremendous fun to write.
This is why we need to know if we can buy Judy's poetry too.
Titled A Whisper Branch. And if you write to me at jbricemd@gmail.com, I would be delighted to send it to you. And not to outdo Charlie, but I was charging $20. I'll charge $19 for the shipping and the book. Oh, and I will equal Charlie's. There we go. Yes.
Good to know. Okay, feel free to unmute, but I see Robert has his hand up, so he's first.
So first, I would encourage Charlie and Judy to put your email address in the chat to make it easier for somebody who wants to reach you to buy your book. And I have a question for Judy. The first poem you read, the young girl's voice is portrayed as a good girl who notices in her school a lot of people do bad things. And I wanted to know, when you were a young girl, what type of young girl were you? Were you good or bad? And what was the goodest or baddest thing you did in school?
Oh, maybe that's the subject of another poem, huh?
That sounds like another poem. It really does.
Great prompt for a poem, huh?
Homework assignment. Hey, look who just popped in. Our other feature poet is here. Richard Spisak is here. We should give him the electronic floor. Hey, Richard,
I
are you
I
ready?
still want to know, Judy, whether you were good or a bad girl in
Oh,
school.
It depends
she
if you
was. She
ask.
was good or
You're
bad.
not off
I'll
the
answer it
hook.
for her. She was good or
How about
bad.
how about I answer it this way? It
Yeah.
depends whether you ask my parents or my brothers or me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. Now you want to buy her book. Yeah.
You as an adult.
I don't know. You know, everything depends on your retrospectoscope, right?
As they say in that movie, let it go. Let it go. I can't sing, but anyway, Richard, please take over. You ready?
Thank you so much. I apologize for coming late. I miscalculated time. I've been lost in the middle of an edit session, and apologies. I offer you some fresh work. It is literally just sprung from my leaky pen. This first piece is called Harbinger. At an ACLU retreat one fateful year, we traveled to D.C. to gather and hear the results of the impact of W's efforts. He wasn't subtle, he wasn't clever. 5,000 scholars of constitutional law came to listen and discuss what they saw. From far away as Nevada and Florida, they came from small towns, some quite rural. Others came from cities, and that's all we'd seen in the last few years was extremely disturbing. It sure wasn't pretty. They'd seen with W's installation how much more we depend on more than law. We need ethics in our nation. It also depends on ethics, aesthetics, yet we saw a partisan Supreme Court walk outside the lines and ignore the voters, uncount the voters, and then, under the corrupted sigil, that was fine. Please take note, and God bless you. You sure as hell better vote. You see, ACLU at its best is a bulwark, an integral part of the renewal of freedom. When it's strong, when it works, the true beating heart of liberty. And when it's led by timid, the explainers and such, when it comes down to the crunch, you have to wonder, would they be enough? Could they alone be democracy's crutch in a clinch, in the crunch, or would it take more than just to sit at the lunch counter? That's for sure. Or even knock on the door. Give me your tired, you're poor, unless when they hit the door they're brown, black, or yellow. That's the unwanted revision, a failing of vision. Let me tell you, fella, the darkening of the factory floor was not done by an immigrant knocking at your door, fully prepared to bend down and scrub democracy's floor. Immigrants are so typical, it seems. They come when they are hungry. They come. They've heard of our dream. We've opened our arms to the troubled and poor. They found their way here from dozens of countries. You know this. I'm sure. The majority bring their family with the hope of a better life, taking on the hardest jobs. They bring their children, they bring their wives, and we let these liars scapegoat these hard-working people. And will ignorance put a lie and a torch to democracy's steeple? That's fresh, friends. Very fresh. And and this is for Mr. Excuse. You may be able to guess who I'm referring to. This is called My Lawyer Made Me Do It. My lawyers made me do it. They said they'd get me through it. I can't trust them now. They all turned away somehow. What made them do it? Who drove them to it? And how many attorneys have I churned, and yet they've so mischaracterized my every turn. I watch and grumble, my bridges burn and tumble, and when sometimes I need to appear the pauper, though from some limousine I was the eager hopper. Oh, my lawyers led me every step. They kept me out of so many traps that I forget. The crypt forgets. And when my native worth is needed to soar, I grab my bean counters and lawyers and ordered up a better score. Triple, dipple, my apartment worked flippered. It soared, it leapt 1,000,000 square feet or more. What do you think? I've never been confined to walk on the earth. Besides, my feet get sore. My casinos, my schools, even my steaks so rare. They were amazing, fascinating, right until they just weren't there. I partied hardy with the fastest set athletes and so many starlets. I had no regrets. But if you worked for me, look out below. Your wages might have been lost in my latest show. A two-bit pitchman, reality TV. That's what they think of me. I cursed out the allies at the table. I helped old Pooty whenever I was able. Now I got my dazzling days in court, and I to my lawyer teams as always. My last resort. Why must they crawl flip-flopping, slime a dime away? The spoiled sports? Oh, well, what can I say? The judges would muzzle my golden throat. But oh, my friends, we'll later see from the crater is what it is that history wrote. But I won't lean all on politics. I've got something else to amuse you. This is something that many of you may know from the pen of Brother Tennessee Williams. I'm in Tennessee these days on the west side of the Appalachians. I want you to remember to a wonderful play, Night of the Iguana, and the poem that Nerral wrote that fateful night. How calmly does the olive branch perceive the sky begin to blanch? Without a cry, without a prayer, with no betrayal of despair. Sometime, while night obscures the tree, the zenith of its life can be gone past forever. And from thence, a second history will commence, a chronicle no longer goal of bargaining with mist and mold, and finally, the broken stem, the plummeting to earth, and then an intercourse not well designed for beings of a golden kind, whose native green must arch above the earth's obscene corrupting love, and still the ripe fruit and the branch observe the sky begin to blanch, without a cry, without a prayer, with no betrayal of despair. Oh, courage! Oh, courage! Could you not as well select a second place to dwell, not only in that golden tree, but in the frightened heart of me? Thanks, Tennessee. And if I have time for one more, this is a bit of a myth making here, my friends. I hope you don't miss this one. It's called The Capital of Fa. You've wandered in those lands, I'm sure, in a galaxy far, far away, etc., etc. The capital of Fa. Deep in the forests of La, near the ancient river of Dadi, where the treasure of Da is known to dwell, and the silent mountain monks ring their primeval bell, I led my horse down the dangerous course where the rocks precarious fell with great force. When the crumbling trail was never measured, those out hunting the sacred treasure, when the unlucky too often fall to the valley below, so trembled every pilgrim who chose that awful course to go. Never minding when the trail crumbled, hardly catching his breath when the courser stumbled, the sight of the spinning valley below alone scared some right to death, don't you know? The castle, barely visible through the clouds that floated, the sight of the spinning valley dancing so far below, alone scared some right to death, don't you know? The castle was barely visible through the clouds that flowed, through the sharp peaks and crags of ice, as if the slippery course was trimmed in frosting. So nice. Winds ferocious would tug and chase the valiant pilgrims on the rock's steep face. More than once his brave horse blanched in nearby rumbling of another avalanche, and as he approached, ferocious winds shredded up from the valley floor a volley of arrows headed his attention to the final war in Rocky Ledge. These dangerous tribal people had sworn their pledge to protect the fortifications of the capital city of Fa. They'd sworn to their mothers on the sacred river Ka. They'd guarded with their lives the final approach to Fa from any wandering wayfarer, no matter who they are. The Grand Vizier of the great castle Fa had cast his spell over the vineyards of Kani, and from any wandering wayfarer, no matter who they are, the Grand Vizier of the great castle Fa had cast his spell on the vineyard of Kani, even though he should know the warehouse was empty. He knew any goblet from the great capital Fa was magically filled with the sparkling vintage unmarred. And the young knight errant approached the castle gate, where the imperial sacred band was well armed and lay in wait. Surrounding the castle file was the equestrian force, well known like Caesar's equestries, so well appointed on horse. Those guarding the eastern gate of the sun was the force always known to be number one. Like Alexander's, were known as companions, and it was known that they were as solid and brave as granite stanchions. But in the west, so lauded and praised were those that would risk all right to their graves. Known, like the gorgeous, those ancient warriors, the sacred band was this band of soldiers, who, although they ancient vicious lineage, among them no moulderers visited. But our hero had a better weapon than all those who might bellow and deafen. He leapt from his saddle just before the gate. He leapt from his saddle and lifted up one hand, bade the soldiers all wait. They leaned in to hear what he said, and he broke out his best joke now, and they laughed off their heads. Right into the palace he strode, bold as brass. He had them all laughing till they fell on their ass. In the throne room our hero arrived. He explained boogie woogie and all that hep jive. Right there on the spot they made the lad king. They kissed his behind and gave him some kind of ring. He waved them away with a generous gesture like the flagon of the dragon. This was not quite his kind of pestle. And like the flagon with the dragon, it was not his kind of pestle. So I will leave you with one more thought-provoking piece. And I want you to picture this. You're outside the orbiting space station, and it's doing its slow crawling spin, preferably to the music of Strauss. And the astronaut is asked to do an extravehicular walk and to take a measurement. There's a large, probably mile-long thermometer floating outside the space station, and he's asked to determine the temperature of space. Hold a thermometer. Hold it down in space. How cool and smooth the knot in place. How dark or clear the thermometer up in space, in place just above the air, quite high, about above here, and above there. Hold it in place, hold it in space, but your heat, my sweet, hold it in phase, hold it in place in space, not out into grace. Lord knows that's go place, no place for heat or cold, or am I too bold? Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. All right, again, you can unmute if you want to say some kind words to Richard.
I like the fast pace of how you read your poem and how you wrote on the fly, as you said earlier, and I appreciate that because it shows spontaneity, courage, and you did it. Thank you for sharing with us, Richard. Thank you.
I'm honored, my friends. I'm honored. Thank you, Don, for the invitation.
It was fun, exciting to listen to you. Loved everything.
Yeah, I admire four-eyed, white-beard and haired poets like you.
No, I was just
Takes
thinking
one to know one, brother.
he's the Kaloki of the East.
Yeah, Lord. Coast to coast, we're the most.
Hey, Richard, can we purchase your poetry somehow? Is there a way?
You actually could. I can put an email address in there. 2 of my volumes are available through Amazon. But I got into an argument with their AI bot, so the next 3 are not. My first short story collection is called 2 Small Windows in a Pair of Mirror Doors. My adventures in psychedelic ashrams and communes. I'm sure a few of you know those experiences and might just crack a smile from that. And my later poetry books, the 7370 Allen Drive, and also Stone Poetry, and my most recent one called No Noise. You can reach me, and I will put my email address in there. And I like packed poetry books, so mine tend toward the 120, 130 poems in the neighborhood of 200 pages or thereabouts. So yeah, you get a volume of Spisak, boy. You get something to prop up a chair, even a table, that sort of thing. Great books for these things. And
Great
by the
to
way,
hear.
as Don was kind enough to mention, I produce a show called Poets of the East. It's up on YouTube. I've been interviewing poets for 4 years, all through the COVID era. Poets from India, poets from the Philippines, from Asia, from Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, UK, and across the Americas. Some of your favorite poets are there. A few are coming. Like right now, over the summer, I like to produce plays. So I do Zoom experimental Shakespeare. Tomorrow, we're doing part 2 of Midsummer Night's Dream. We've already recorded Merchant of Venice. It's all up on YouTube. And in the past, we did Coriolanus, one of my absolute favorites, and Julius Caesar. And we'll probably do one more this fall. We're also producing some modern sci-fi written by living authors, even myself. Oh, yeah. So you're interested in that sort of thing, just get in touch with me. I'll send you a link. Like I say, tomorrow we're doing part 2 of Midsummer Night's Dream. It's 12 noon New York time. So if you're up for it, let me know. Thanks a lot, my friends. And Don, again, thank you, brother. Thank you so much for the invite.
Right. As I reach for my charging cord. Okay, there we go. Does living east of Los Angeles count?
Sure.
That's
Sure.
a kind
Well,
of east.
I always regard when you see a poet, you see a sunrise. You see the dawn of art and verbal experimentation. So to me, every poet is the East.
I see the dawn every day in the mirror, but that's beside the point. We'll
And
get
so
to
you should. And so you should.
yes.
Amen.
How many people have their name dropped into poems? You know, it's just so moving.
I'll tell you.
Don.
Yes,
So
Robert.
Juliet, according to Shakespeare, Juliet is the East. Will dawn be the next East?
Well, it's better than bobbing in the ocean. Yes. On that happy note, we're going to head over to put on our other poetic hat. We're going to head over and do some Watermelon Hues poetry. This could be very interesting. We're going to go in the order of the website, which I'll be sharing in just moments. There it is. Okay. So make sure this thing is large enough for people to read. Here, that should do it. And our first poet is Michelle Smith.
Hello. Hi. Let's see. Good afternoon and good evening. I have 2 haikus and 1 poem, so they're all short. So am I read all of them, Don?
Go for it.
Okay. Thank you. The first one is called Watermelon Hues. Shade and shape, eating in pink, green skin, black seeds, complete. Watermelon pot, cook a savory and sweet stew, bubbles, bowls, and sauce. My third one is a poem that is, as you know, watermelon. It's called Watermelon Leaf, and it is an acrostic poem with a line per each, rather than 1 word. Wash my green into melding yellow skin, and cut the white fleshy rind too. Thumb the top of its belly for ripeness, enough to carve and create for the knife. Ready to eat. Red, ready juiciness dripping down. Melon, pretty and pink, beauty quenches thirst, enough to share in shape with a baller. Long and short, cut into bite-sized pieces. Open my hand, picking out the seediness. No Jolly Rancher hard candy competition here. Yumminess yields youngness. Delectable too. Watermelon leaf. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. You really fleshed that out. Oh, 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 oh.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Let's see who else is in town. Electronic Town. Speed Reader's Delight, right? Polly Dutton is here. Woohoo! Hey, Polly. Want to read a poem?
Okay. Here's Dick. Dick, do you want to read first? Let's see.
Well, actually, your poem comes first in the order on the
My poem
the
comes
scroll.
first. Okay.
Yeah.
Cyan blue. Ever since I gazed at the sea, I've been enamored by you. I saved for contact lenses to revise my eyes to you. Glass friends from Zenny I cradled 10 years to be tethered by you. A few times I sanctioned other colors to brush my surface, unfastened blocks for your brothers green and navy that only you could bloom inside. When I tiptoe among your soft layers, visions of your spirit haze, so I imagine paint or sing your hue. Your only weakness continuing to associate me with cyanobacteria. Certainly she is dazzling. And
Well, we caught almost all of that. You kind of crackled out at the end there. But it's a good thing we could see it too. I mean, that's one of the things I love about this format is that you don't just get to hear a poem, you can see it as well. I think that really is a complete experience. I'm a fan of that. I am a fan of that. I may be in the minority in that. But speaking of something different in terms of audio, I was hoping, Dean, you still be willing to give it a try to read your poem, despite the fact remodeling is going on in your house, because I hear computer microphones only reach 3 feet. Unless it's too hard for you to hear, then, forget about it. What do you think, Dean?
I'll give it a try, but
I think it'll be all right.
if they start pounding, then we'll have
Yeah,
to.
if
we'll have
we
to
hear
cut
it, we'll let you know. Okay, but I mean, computer mics tend to only go like 3 feet at the very most. So let's test that out.
Okay. That sounds like some people's listening habits. If they're not within 3 feet, they don't hear you.
Okay, that's how they modeled the computer. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, let me get it over with before they start pounding. It's called Spitting Seeds. I woke up this morning angry again from reading the news, or better said, angry hearing strong opinions from people with weak understanding. They say most folks get their news off social media, which can be like piping sewage into our homes. So our neighbor's nasty starts stinking up our place, which doesn't happen with watermelon seeds. We spit them out and they don't come back. Too bad politicians ain't watermelon seeds. Writing this on paper helps me spit out my anger. But unlike eating watermelon, nothing sweet stays in my mouth. But sometimes fruit grows out of nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. That was really good. Very tasty. Too many puns available today. All right. Let's see who's next in our parade. Richard has been on deck. Your time has come, Richard.
oh, Richard Dutton. Okay.
Yeah.
Start out. Okay. Happiness comes as watermelon. Liquid, cool, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between. Take a big one, cut into 6 chunks, and chug. A big one can be hard to handle. Drop out of your hands and roll down the street. Once I chased one and caught it, and it was still perfect, but I was. You have to warn yourself and others to stop before you pop. Some people get drunk on alcohol. I get drunk on watermelon.
All right. Thank you, Richard. And may you have a swift recovery from your falling for watermelon. All right, Heather, right next door. Hey, Heather. Heather just won the chapbook contest. So congratulations again, Heather.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm trying to unmute myself. I am now in a quieter location. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm very excited about the chapbook. I think I'll read, let me see, I'll read the first, I think I'll read the first poem.
Okay.
Unless you guys have a preference, or I don't know.
Well, they're all good.
They're all
So
good. Okay,
Mercury
we'll
it
go
is. Yeah.
Mercury. Mercury was a fiery, glowing watermelon slice, beautiful through the telescope. I uttered the word miracle, teary-eyed to the senior volunteers, my son in tow. I still apologize for being sick, for giving my son an edited version of mothering, for the family he had that fell apart after I landed in the ICU, for other insanities that I cannot control, though I explained that I cannot control all of these things. Oh, it's beautiful, I say about Mercury, something I cannot control. Beautiful, I say about my son, whose life and spirit I cannot control. Beautiful, I want to say about everything that has passed and could not control, but I am still light years away.
Wow. This is why Heather won. Your
Well,
poetry has such resonance, sparkling resonance. Really beautiful. Thank you,
thank you.
Heather.
Yeah, thank you.
And more of her poetry, just check it out on the site. Rebecca is here. Hey,
Hello,
Rebecca.
everybody. So happy to be here. Okay. Be the watermelon. Break ourselves open, share our sweetness, dropping seeds of kindness along the way. Speak in its language of summertime memories that cool the tongue with a soothing aftertaste. Seek and find joy even in difficult times, like sugared rinds transformed into candy. Let's be the watermelon. So if tomorrow never comes, we can still share our essence in the hues of every sunset.
Yeah. Hey, Rebecca, that's the sweetest poem so far today.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let's keep this parade moving. Some folks couldn't be here. Ooh. Some good poets, too. Hey, but there's R.A.
Hello.
There she is.
Melanic. I saw the doormat at Yusk. Summertime with a message. It said, hello, inviting the visitor to leave behind the dust and be welcomed. So I bought two, one for me and one for friends sharing our traditions. Both descended from hot climates where cool fruits celebrate warm friendship. And now it is a symbol of hope. I know Yusk got the meaning. Extending a hand in solidarity, quietly opening the door to friendship and peace. After all, how dangerous can a simple watermelon be?
Wow. Now, for you programmers in the East, probably the most Eastern of all the poets today is R.A.
from the Canadian Maritimes.
Tammy's here. Yeah. There she is. Unmute thyself. She's frantically going to a quiet place.
How to
Here we are.
carry a watermelon. You definitely look cooler than Baby did in the movie Dirty Dancing, and no one dares to say anything negative or threaten to put you in a corner. It's fascinating how specific phrases can evoke such vivid memories, much like old scripts. I still remember the first time I saw Patrick Swayze balancing on a log while Jennifer Grey ran into his arms to practice their now famous lift. I would carry a million watermelons for the chance to play such an iconic role and wear that little pink dress. But I digress. Let's go back to the summer I turned 12 when we first met. I was practicing how to undress behind a beach towel. I can still feel my lips quivering as your sticky thumb brushed against mine when we plunged our fingers deep into a bucket of buttered popcorn. I remember how our noses bumped together when we leaned in for a kiss in the dimly lit local theater. Every awkward moment from my adolescence comes rushing back like a waterfall whenever I catch a YouTube clip of Baby and Johnny dancing to I've Had the Time of My Life in the Catskills. Do you remember that old television commercial for Big Red Chewing Gum with the slogan, "So kiss a little longer," and all those scratch and sniff stickers I had plastered across my Trapper Keeper? Perhaps nostalgia is the new hot pink, the summertime hue of vintage blues. Carrying a watermelon, much like praying, dancing the tango, or playing a game of beach volleyball, symbolizes the moment when possibility and potential merge to take center stage. Thank you.
What a delightful poem. Thank you, Tammy. Okay, that's our homework. Everybody should write about this subject, right? Yeah. Okay, did I spy Veronica? I think I did.
Yes, you did. Okay, I'd just like to start out with the fact that I was born with cerebral palsy. And, shout out to the 35th anniversary of the ADA today. And I prefer to write short poems like haiku because of the fact that I hunt and peck with one hand on the keyboard. So these are my 3 haiku that I wrote. Watermelon juice drips down little girl's arm, sticky sweet. Chase after fireflies, munching on watermelon, summertime freedom. Children grow hungry, playing outside all summer, sweet watermelon.
It's a justification for poetry right there. Those are great memories. Thank you so much, Veronica.
Thank you.
All right, we venture to the next present person. Ellen.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello,
Ellen.
everyone. So this is called For Sure Happy Ending. In New York at school, Hugh Park met Will Aronson. Musical ensued. Thank you.
And that's just a small sampling of Ellen's fantastic poetry. Look her up, everybody. Ellen Maybe. If you don't know her, you should.
Thank you.
No, no, no. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. Robert, your time in the sun, sir.
Thank you. Let's do the next one. Can you do Watermelon Field?
Okay,
And can you click on it and make it bigger or no?
I'm going to give it a go. Here we go.
Give it a go.
Oh, how's that?
Perfect. Thank you. So I started with a photograph I took of a watermelon field, and I did some digital computer editing to this. There's a filter called Heat Wave, which makes the image pinkish and blue. And then I applied this filter called Slice, which you can see the squares on the image which were created. And I was pleased that the sliced worked. I'd say less than 5% of the time does the slice do anything useful. So it's not a very useful filter. But I like that this is very multicolored and evokes the heat of the summer. Thank you. That's it.
Hey, Robert, I just can't not say this is inspiring because I'm a big fan of surrealism, and so it just makes me want to form a band called Surrealistic Watermelon.
Well,
this would be the album cover.
Thank you. And if you do, I'll be a big fan.
Okay. Slow scroll there. Oh, we're kind of too big now. Okay, let me get it back down. There we go. See who is amongst us. Andy's here.
Okay, great. I'll read the first one. It's called Spray Poem. Like Gallagher had his mallet that would crush watermelons that would spray into the crowd, we found a tool in my dad's garage called the hatchet hammy. It was a hatchet on one side and a hammer on the other side. There was a large plastic item in my brother's yard that had been there for years and was withered. It was the base of a punching bag that you had to fill up with water. There was no water in it, and we weren't boxers. But this old plastic item was perfect for our exercise with the hatchet hammy. We smashed it up with the hatchet side and pulverized it with the hammer. There was no watermelon to spray into the crowd and barely any water. But when we finished smashing, the crowd went wild.
A true story.
Yeah, it was fun.
Cool. And more poetry to read at your leisure, people. Marietta, I think you're here.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
So, to be short.
All right. Make sure to mute yourselves, everybody else.
There are hues of blues, embracing the dose of red to vibrate in harmony. There is a sense of their movement above the limit. There is a feeling in the sense. The feelings can be objects. Conceivably, things have a beginning because they believe it. And maybe there is neither a beginning nor an end. In the spring rain, there are kissing statues. In the loud lodgings, emblazoned with shadows of shabby objects on the walls, there are lonely people meditating on their life. There is a measure of vulnerability for everything that is good and for the starving birds in searching for seeds everywhere, as for those cancerous youngsters having unimaginable pains, still yearning to be cured, not till experience. In the coverings, there are riders of the history, dressed in armor, to enter the mind's imagination and all that is not the mind's imagination. On spring nights, there is a moon becoming a curtain for the great vaudeville of the stars, formed from the other stars. No two are alike. And being like charming women wearing masks and wide necklines, nor like those ballerinas who like to costume in lactate white to suggest dandelions dancing to spread their seeds. In the luxury shop windows, there are gems that look like flowers and flowers looking like gems. In the Sisyphus dimension, there are tired eyelids in the beings. Nothing bends from above, everything falls. There are emerald northern lights. In a puddle of sun, there are emerald green, tattooed bodies dancing tango. There are cubic dragons, and there are things that have been taken apart to be put then back together in the wrong order. So it is self-loathing, and there are feelings of worthlessness in a life spent earning filthy lucre. There are resentments to destroyed lives. There are the wrong things that fall apart and the wrong things that fall together with those that are right. There are words coming out with the wrong comprehension to be incorporated into bad memories. There are wrongly imagined riders of history, uprising dove feather and prying eyes, get at the meaning of the truths. In the upright, there are many truths left. All of these things exist, yet there will never be blue trees or everlasting corpses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sensational, Marietta. That was a beautiful poem, beautifully read. Thank you so much.
Thank you also.
And one of the great things about publishing online is almost no line limit. Well done, Jackie Chow. I know you're here.
Yep, I'm here. Glad to be here. Okay, so this poem is called The Shattering. A watermelon breaks, thrown out of a truck store like a bowling ball. Now a skull splits open, splattering juice, flesh onto the dark windshield. Is it suicide, homicide, the bang of a head against the hard glass? The fibrous remains are then scraped off by the squeaky wipers. We move on, not asking if it hurts in those final moments of impact.
Awesome. As always, Jackie has won several Four Feathers Press awards, and she finished second this year in the chapbook contest. As you can see the evidence right here. Great
And I
writing,
still
Jackie.
have to get my chapbooks.
Well, yeah, we'll work that out. We definitely will work that out.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this name. Charlie, it rings a bell. Yeah.
Okay. Satan's season. Flies dapple dog doo-doo, eggs fry on asphalt, heat shimmers off highways, the world's out of focus, out of kilter, prime time for killers. Over last night's ribs and fries, happy maggots creep, love that restaurant backdoor dumpster reek, slippery sidewalk, watermelon slush, garbage can splatter, nothing seems to matter. Who else would have invented mosquitoes? Sure, there's bikini blondes, blue jays, butterflies, and barbecue, but also body odor, armpit stains, relentless blue sky blare, the absence of care. Long I wait for that first wilted leaf, smell of earth crunch beneath my feet, that first blast of air crisp against my hair that sings, winter's almost here.
Thank you, Charlie. It is so true. You have the gift of humor and seriousness at the same time.
Oh, thank you.
Really
Thank
a good quality in a poet.
Thank you.
See. Oh, the speed reading is getting to me. Oh. Yeah, Loki, save us all. You gotta unmute though. Unmute, sir. Yeah.
Could you send a poem that I sent you here, and I'm going to ask the East Coast Rose read the lines in blue from my.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. Well, if you got it, you can read from there. I'll read. Okay, I know what we're doing. Watermelon song.
Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, ho.
A baby's born in
Water,
2/3 of body,
water,
2/3 of Mother Earth.
water,
Watermelon fruit is 9/10
water.
Mini Wakani.
Short and sweet.
Oh.
Thank you, Keloki and Rosie. Claire's usually here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm getting very scared. Oh, no!
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's the last reader. Ah. I didn't miss anybody, did I? I guess not. Okay. Well,
Lisa.
wait. Lisa.
Lisa. Yep.
What's the name? What's your pen name?
I'm just Leisha.
Oh, I mean,
Is it not?
you're not
Am I
on
not
here,
there?
are you?
Oh, I'm not. Okay. I thought I was.
I don't know if you are. Did you submit a poem?
Thought I did, but I guess I didn't. That's okay.
Oh no. I'll have to back
I'm
up the truck
listening.
and I will back
I'm
up the
listening.
truck.
I'll be a
And,
fan today.
Oh, well. All right, but still I'll back up the truck and take a look at my emails to make sure I didn't make a mistake. Oh no. Hey, Lisa, it says Rebecca Thomas. Wait a minute, what's going on here? I'm all confused. No, Rebecca Red. Okay.
Don, you can search for her name.
Well, but it's not there. Because, I mean, this is the whole page. It would have been there. It would have been. And that I would have remembered that name too, Alicia. That's a memorable name. It's possible it got past my email people.
Yeah. I've got something ready, or I can just be a fan today. Everybody's been amazing.
Well, all right. I could just stop to share for a minute here and let you read. How about that?
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, sure. I'll do a little verse. And here we go. You said hello, then I said hi. I looked away, a little shy. I knew you were a special guy, not typical, not slick or sly. So we went out a time or two. Then we became me and you, but not official to the world, more like a secret that is furled. But we were young, that's what we did. Our love affair is one we hid. After a while, stagnant grew old. I made a move, he took a hold. The new guy who took your place, the new guy who claimed your space and did the thing, gave us a label. He called us couples. See, he was able to step up to a sacred plate only reserved for a soulmate. The new guy and I, we fell in love till I discovered we weren't hand in glove. His cheating heart was abuser and chief. I found out the new guy was an emotional thief. So he had to go. He got dismissed. Another asshole crossed off my love list. But there was you, way over there. Watermelon colored shirt. Oh, can't we dare? No, we didn't revisit the past. A love that never was broadcast. You did your thing. You did your job, became well known as a word king. I am so proud of your success. Wish I'd reached out, I must confess. Thought maybe one day fate would get us on track to finally hash out our breakup flashback. But yesterday I found your face on the side of a Facebook post. It said you had died. I must have read wrong. I'm not seeing this news. You can't be gone. I absolutely refuse to accept the notion our love has forever been diminished. I cannot believe you and I are unfinished, and you are now gone. We didn't get to say goodbye. Years and years slipped away. Now all I can do is cry. Oh, I hope you're at peace and all the angels take a look and read every word of your next heavenly book. As for me and our love, it's forever in my heart. I will never forget you, E. My Bacall to your Bogart. Unfinished.
Much more than just a watermelon.
That's a
Yeah.
fantastic love poem.
Thank you.
I'll definitely check my emails. Do you have a last name or you go by the one name?
I just go by the one name.
Okay, I'll watch for it. If it's there, I'll post it. And even if it's not there, feel free to resend it.
Okay, and I'm sorry. I hope I didn't mess up. I'm sorry if I didn't. Yeah.
I'm human. We're all human. Mistakes can be made. Please do not quote me. Nevertheless, you're a delightful reader. So nice that you had the chance to read.
Thank you.
All right, now for all your punishment, everyone, you have to hear one poem from me. So let's go back to that share. So I got 3 punishments to choose from. We have something from the past, something not true, and something that is true. Which would you like to hear?
Not true.
Not true it is.
I'll second that.
That's the second poem. It's called Dog Months. First party of summer. Better be by June. August is the best. Those longest days. A pool is the accessory for tanning in the sun. Sunbathe yourself to match the watermelon you'll eat. Grill them steaks. Warm that chair. Hot dogs and lemonade. Sprinklers on the lawn. Sun visor on your head. Mosquito buzz around croquet mallets. Play badminton to the smell of insect spray. Loud as thunderstorms, lawnmowers roll on. Flowers leap open as if to scuba dive in blue air. Time to take a volleyball vacation. After all, why does a lifeguard wear a swimsuit? Except for the wet suit getting full of sand. Fishing in the fall, but for now, windsurfing season. Boating is especially splendid with iced tea. Miniature golf is easier than surfing, isn't it? The real question is, campfire or picnic? Nothing like road trip hamburgers. Never forget to let your throat ride the high tide of soda pop. Well, I hope you enjoyed your punishment. I enjoyed mine, and this was a wonderful day of poetry, recorded, coming on YouTube for those who might have missed. And so feel free to say parting words if anyone has something to say.
It's kind of unique that I think that these should be the months when we have less people, but it seemed to increasing here, and I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was very nice to listen to all of you. And Don, thanks again for asking me to read. And it was just a really great experience. You've got a wonderful series going here. And thanks to everybody.
Thank you, Charlie. I hope I'll see you on a Monday.
Thank you, Don. An honor.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, you know I'm a fan.
Thanks, buddy.
There's a note here that says, Don, thanks so much for including me in the reading. Okay. Okay, read those notes because our demise is coming. Our electronic demise is just seconds away. We are now disappearing one by one. Oh no! We better
Oh no,
stop the
Mr.
recording.
Bill! Oh no, Mr. Bill!